Word, son. What it do, YouTube? It's your boy J Divine, just Divine, J Divine. Doesn't matter. I answer to either or. What it do, everybody on the other platforms that you might be listening to this on? It's your boy J Divine, just Divine, J Divine. It don't matter. Just I answer to either or. Today's date, ladies and gentlemen, is Tuesday, April 19th. Yeah, April 19th, 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we're just gonna jump straight into this thing. If you haven't already, man, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread links, because you do know how I do. And at the same time, if you got to, make sure you hit the pause button. If you got to, take a pee break. If you got to, I'm messing up the intro like crazy. Make sure you pause, get you some popcorn, take a pee break if you got to. You know how the damn intro go, but I ain't gonna keep stumbling over that, man. We're gonna one take this, man. We're gonna keep things rolling. But yeah, man, I've been waiting to get on this podcast because I'm really like bothered. You know what I mean? I've never felt so bothered about some shit ever in my life. Patrick Lyoya. I might be saying his name. I might be saying his name wrong. Please forgive me. That entire incident just bothers me. Like, that bothers me to the fucking core. I've never felt so bothered about some shit ever in my life up until that. Like, there's been a plethora of shit that has gone on, especially with black folks. Like, anything on the black community that's been like detrimental that we've lost, like in that fashion, oh, it's bothered me. But this one bothered me even more because it could have all been avoided, and not even from the person that died, not even from their side, but just from law enforcement all in general. So if y'all haven't heard, I'm pretty sure y'all have, but basically what was going on was Patrick, or Mr. Lyoya, I'm probably saying his name wrong, but Mr. Lyoya, he was pulled over by the police officer in question. I don't really know his name, but he was pulled over by a police officer in question because the car that he was driving, the plates didn't match the car. So that was why he was pulling him over. Just a routine traffic stop, right? So as it's going on, Lyoya, he's not really sitting still. You know, he's still moving around. Cops tell him to stop, right? So he's moving, and the cop tells him, hey, like, stop. So the cop grabs him. And as the cop grabs him, Lyoya rips away, and he's like, trying to run from the cop. They get into a scuffle, pretty much. Lyoya grabs a taser, and as he's fumbling for the taser, what basically happens is they're fumbling for the taser, or whatever. The taser gets discharged or whatever. Didn't hit nobody, so it's pretty much just, it was pretty much just a waste of a taser. So they're still wrestling, and they're still going on or whatever. And eventually they end up going to the ground. The police officer is on Lyoya's back, and he's telling him, stop resisting, stop moving, stop resisting, put your hands behind your back. And as he's resisting, he's telling him, put the taser down, put the taser down, put the taser down. And as he's doing that, the police officer is grabbing for his service pistol or reaching for his gun, and he puts it to the back of Lyoya's head and pulls the trigger and kills him practically instantly. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on. And I've seen that video frontwards and backwards at least 20, 30 times. At least. And that shit just doesn't sit right with me. Now, let's start from the beginning, right? Okay. Routine traffic stop. Cop pulls him over. One of the things that people need to understand is everybody reacts different. Now, of course, if you go on social media, which I highly advise y'all to not go to the comment section in social media, because it'll blow your mind of how people were just so quick to just jump to, oh no, it's justified. Yep, well, it's justified. That's what he gets. It's so ill to like see that shit, So, all right, so he gets out of the car. The cop pulls him over. He gets out of the car, right? Now, mind you, at the same exact time, I need you to understand this. Everybody reacts different when they're approached with some sort of authority, right? Or a threat. He might have viewed that as a threat, whatever the case is, but people react differently. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure people are saying, oh, he's making excuses for him already. Shut the fuck up and just listen. So as this is all going on, he's moving around, and he's like, saying like what, he's moving around, doing a little bit too much moving for the cops' liking. So he's trying to detain him per se. So as he's doing that, mind you, everybody reacts different. You know what I mean? Some people freeze. Some people are do what they told, or some people just try to get away from what's making them uncomfortable. It's obvious that Loyola was uncomfortable. It was obvious, right? So that's when the cop tries to pretty much, assert his dominance or try to step in and say, no, you're not going anywhere. Stop. When I say stop, you stop. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, as a grown man, we're not even talking about police officer and civilian. As a grown adult human being, you don't have to listen to nobody. You don't have to. You really don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he was raised under that principle. Who knows? Right? So then, he's trying to detain him or whatever. And the guy, Loyola, rips away and the police officer is chasing him. Now, here's my problem with this entire situation, right? If your whole take on this is, well, police officers' lives are at risk every day. They just have to be safe. They're just trying to be safe. If the police officer was trying to be safe, why the fuck didn't he call backup? He thought that he can handle him on his own till he found out this motherfucker was a little bit more stronger than I thought. And then now all of a sudden, yeah, I'm going to put a bullet in the back of his head. That'll show him. Who the fuck does shit like that? I have friends that have had their dads in service. I know people that are in law enforcement or that were in law enforcement, and they'll tell you that literally he handled that entirely wrong. He handled that all wrong. Anytime, if you're approached with a situation, you're going to need backup, you assess the situation first. If you feel like you're going to need backup, call the backup in. You know what I'm saying? Had he done that, this situation would be a lot more different, and this man would possibly still be alive right now. Not even possibly. He would definitely be alive right now if he followed protocol and called backup. So no, he decides to just say, you know what, I'm a strong arm this one. So they get to tussling. Back to the situation. Damn, they get to tussling. And I have a hair in my mouth. They get to tussling, and then I guess, I don't want to say somehow, but Loyola gets possession of the cop's taser, right? Now he tells him, put the taser down, right? If you listen and look at the video, the taser was already discharged, right? So the whole take about, oh, he had the cop's taser, he was justified in doing what he was doing. Listen to the fucking video. Watch the video. He discharged the taser. At that point, the taser is null and void. What are you going to do with a taser in your hand that's already shot out? You know what I'm saying? Oh, people are going to say, oh, well, you could take that off and it'll turn into a stun gun. Do you really mean to sit here and tell me that man is going to figure out how to take off the wires so that he can turn it into a stun gun? He doesn't know how a police issued stun gun works. He doesn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Neither do I. You know what I mean? But during that little time, who's going to figure out how to take the tip off and pause and turn it into a stun gun? Who's going to figure that shit out? Who? Explain to me who's going to figure that out in time. Nobody's going to figure that out. Right? So he's telling him, put the taser down. At this time, he had all the time in the world to call backup. He didn't call backup. Not once did he radio in backup, right? So they're still tussling. Put the taser down. He's getting manhandled. You see in the video, the cop is getting manhandled. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? What can you do? You just got manhandled, right? So, like I said, he is not calling in reinforcements. He's not calling backup. He's not doing none of that shit. So they're tussling. He gets it to the ground. They get to rolling around. Put the taser down. What is the taser going to do to you? It's been shot out already. What the fuck is the taser going to do to you? It's been shot out already. So because he's not complying, because he's resisting, so you're going to put a bullet in his fucking head, point blank, in the back of his head? You're going to execute that man? Anybody in law enforcement will tell you that he handled that shit poorly. That shit bothers me, man. It's so sick to see how people can just immediately say, oh, he had a taser? Yep, he did what he had to do. Yep. It's fucking sick, man. It's really fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me sad to see, how police officers can just abuse they can just abuse their power like that. Like it makes me really really sad, bro. Like it upsets me because it's like we aren't protected from anything. You know, I'm blessed that I'm blessed that every time I dealt with a police officer, they were cool. You know what I mean? They were always cool. From resource officers that we had in school to police officers that I've come across. I've even had friends that their dad used to be a police officer, and you know they happen to be cool. Even if I saw them like whether they were working or if I just see them like in a store or whatever with, you know, with my friend in question, you know what I'm saying? Like they were always cool. You know what I mean? But those ones I just named off, the cool ones, they get overshadowed by shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Most people say fuck the police. Yeah, that, you know, that's cool shit to say. I'll say it if you say, yeah, fuck the police. Yeah, fuck 12. You know what I mean? Like just to get the props. But at the same as that time, I know that not all are bad. But it's almost like that saying, you got 100 snakes. You got 100 snakes that are coming at you, right? Only 5 of them are poisonous. Do you let all 100? Do you let only them 5 snakes in, or do you keep all of them out? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you assume that those 5 are poisonous, or do you assume that all those 100 are poisonous and keep them all out? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird analogy, I know, but you know what I mean? Because what I'm trying to say is, even though we got good cops in the bunch that actually handle their jobs and do it well, you got the bad ones that overshadow them. So now you have to treat the good cops as if they're bad. No joke. There's a video, right? There's this video of this lady, and she happened to be coming home from work, right? And I guess she did like a double, so she was like exhausted. Now she was doing under the speed limit. So most time when you're doing under the speed limit, you know, police could pull you over for that. And like she was kind of like swerving, and, you know, not in and out of a lane, but she was kind of dipping in her lane a little bit. So, so the cop threw his lights on, and ended up pulling her over. And bless that lady's heart, she was super duper nervous. She was on edge as soon as the cop pulled her over. He was like, "Hey, ma'am, I was wondering, are you okay?" I think it was a white dude too. "Hey, ma'am, are you okay?" And she was like, "Oh, well," no, I think he was like, what did he say? It's a video. You have to look it up. It's the cop that pulls over the woman, and she starts crying. She immediately starts bawling, right? And, you know, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so scared." She was like, No, it's okay. Don't cry. I was just trying to make sure he was okay because, you know, you happen to be, you know, going under the speed limit, and I was just trying to make sure he was okay. I want you to be safe. The lady was, I'm talking about boo-hoo crying. She was scared to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's sad that we see a police officer, you immediately, like, your heart starts pumping because you don't know if you're going to make it out of that shit alive or if he's really there to genuinely help you. You'll never know. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad, bro. To protect and serve, but who are they protecting? They're not protecting you. It's sad, bro. Like, it's really sad. You know, I think about my moms and pops a lot, bro. Like, you know, they see the shit that be going on, and I wonder do some days do they be like, you know, I want to do some days, is that ever a passing thought in their mind sometimes? Like, you know, I know they trust me. They know that I always use my better judgment. You know, I'm very respectful, so I, you know, they would hope that I come out of that on top. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I know that thought passes in their mind a lot, but it's kind of tough to like see shit like this happening, knowing the fact that that could be you next. You know what I'm saying? Or that could be somebody you know that's next. That could be your dad. That could be your uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and women are just as, you know, prone to that shit too. You see what happened to Sandra Bland, and that shit was sick. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, to me, it's just wild, bro, because it's like, that is why people say that they should defund the police. You know what I mean? Get better training. You know what I mean? Like, you should really go back in and rework all the shit that they teach all in that academy. All of that shit. Rework every last bit of it. The point is, you're trying to make sure that both parties come out alive. That's the priority. You know what I'm saying? Not let's just go in here and you know, as soon as, you know, neutralize, quote unquote, whether that mean to maul or to murder somebody, to neutralize the subject. No. We want everybody alive. That's the deal. Anybody who kills anybody and is not justified, not even justified, if you kill somebody, we will hold you accountable to that shit until we can get proper evidence that says, okay, you know what I mean? But even then, there still has to be some sort of a punishment that you have to succumb to. You killed somebody. That person can't come back. Nigga, this ain't Call of Duty. You can't respond back. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some sort of punishment in place that anytime a police officer kills somebody, they have to answer to a punishment. They have to. Especially if it's not justified. I'm talking about there needs to be a thorough investigation. A thorough. You know what I mean? It's sad, bro. It's really, really sad, man. But I really, really hope that they hold that man accountable, because from what I've seen in that video, I've seen so many people say, oh yeah, he's justified. I've seen so many people say that he's not. You know, there's this one YouTuber that I used to watch, and I think his name was Donut Operator or whatever. I used to watch him, but it's sad how everybody just jumped straight to the whole, oh, he had a taser, so the cop had to do what he had to do. Like, I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, everybody doesn't find an issue with the cop killing him, let alone how he even did it. It's not like it's not like the guy was like, he stood up and was running towards him, you know what I'm saying, with some sort of a threat. And then hell, even then you still can't attack him like that, because the taser was even deployed. You know what I mean? But it's not like the man had a knife running towards him and he put a few in his chest and he died. No. It was one of those things where it was just like, he literally executed that man. He put the gun straight to the back of his head, point blank, and pulled the trigger. Point blank. Let that sink in. Point blank. Where did they teach you that at in the academy? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I when I seen him cover that video, and then when I heard him say justified, I cut the video off. I just cut it off, because I'm just like, you can't be for real. Out of all the ways to handle it, that was the best way to handle it. So no backup was to be called. He could handle that by himself. Why would you put yourself in a situation to kill somebody? Make it make sense. Sounds to me like he was trying to find a reason to kill that man. But like I said, man, I'm gonna keep close attention to it. I'm gonna keep watching as to what's going on, see exactly how they're gonna go about it. But if they don't handle the shit right, it's gonna be some civil unrest. I see it coming already. The shit's got to end, ladies and gentlemen. It's got to. We cannot keep letting this shit happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, it's not just me that I gotta live through this shit. I gotta live through it. Your kids gotta live through it. Your kids' kids gotta live through it. Your kids' kids gotta live through it, and so on and so forth. The shit has to stop, bro. It's got to. It's got to, bro. Like that shit fucking bothers me, man. This shit's gotta stop, man. I see it was crazy. It's like I feel like I'm so desensitized to it, bro. You know what I mean? Because I see it so much. It's like, fuck, they got another one. You know what I'm saying? Or something else happens. It's like, well, shit, damn, another one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sick. It's really, really sad, bro. Like, I hate the fact that that's my first response when something like that jumps off. Damn, another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you can do is just suck your teeth and shake your head. But like I said, I'm gonna keep close attention. I'm gonna pay close attention to what's going on. I'm gonna keep following this story. But ladies and gentlemen, that shit has got to end. It has to. Like, there has got to be a stopping point to this, because enough is enough. But let's switch gears for a second, man. Let's try to talk about something a little bit more lighter. So I know that racism is still around. You know, well, stemming off the topic we just came off of. I know racism is still around, you know, even though my moms and pops kind of like raised me to a point where I'm like sheltered, you can say, I'm very aware that these things go on and nobody's exempt from anything, no matter how you brought up. You could be rich and still experience racism. You could be poor. You could be like below the bottom. You could be the bottom of the barrel poor and you can still experience racism. It don't matter who you are, middle class, poor, rich, it don't matter. You can still experience racism. And my story was kind of like this. It was like between racism and hate. And the hate part was kind of like on my side, but I kind of I kind of was thinking about it too. So basically, I was working for Amazon, and which I don't work there no more. I work from home now. I worked at Amazon, and I was delivering this package to this drugstore. And where I was at, it wasn't really like, it was kind of upscale, kind of uppity, as you would probably say. So I was in the parking lot getting the packages. Either it was a package or packages. I was getting them together, and I happened to see like this lady, this older white lady, but she trying to keep up with her young days. I saw her and I saw like her kid. I saw her kid going into the store or whatever. So just aware of my surroundings, looking around or whatever. So I seen her having to go into the store with a kid. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I grab my stuff, lock up the van, and I go on ahead and I go out and grab the package and take it on in. So when you first walk into the store, they have a front counter, but the front counter is literally just there for show. You have to go into the back there. That's where everybody's at, where you go get your prescription. That's where everybody's at back there. So I go back there and I'm walking back there, and as I'm making my way back there, I see the same lady that had walked in the door. So I seen her, and I happened to be walking past her. So I was like, saying, excuse me. Excuse me, let me slide past you. So the lady didn't say nothing, whatever, didn't pay no mind. I'm just trying to go deliver this package and move on to the next thing. So I went to go make my way further to the back again, and I see the lady one more time. I see her, right? So I get to the counter. We almost get to almost where the counter is. I see her, and I look to her, and I say, oh, excuse me, ma'am, were you in line? No joke, that's exactly what I said, right? And I swear to God, on everything that is holy, if I'm lying, I'm dying. She gave me this glare that literally said, why are you talking to me, nigger? No bullshit. I'm not lying to you. Your black ass ain't got no business talking to me. Why are you talking to me, nigger? Swear to God. I swear to God on everything I love. That's exactly what that glare said to me. So I look at her. I'm like, okay. So I do that, and then I was like, okay. I was like, here's your package or whatever for the store. So he's like, oh, okay, thank you. I think it was two older black ladies that was in the back. And when I gave him the packages, I said, okay, y'all have a blessed one. I said it loud too. And when I was leaving, I cut my eye at the lady that was glaring at me, and then I walked off. And at that time, bro, I was pissed. You know what I mean? I was so fueled, like I was so enraged with just hatred. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so pissed. You know what I mean? Like I was looking and thinking about how I was thinking about, this the shit white people be on. You know what I'm saying? How they always on that racist shit. That's what I'm talking about white people. I'm fuck with white people, right? That's what I'm saying. So, I'm in the van, I'm venting about it. I'm fuming, like at this point. If we was in a cartoon, you would see all the steam coming from the top of my head. That's how I bit my damn tongue. If we was in a cartoon, you would see how mad I was. I had nothing but steam coming from the top of my head. I was pissed. So I'm in the van venting, you know what I mean? So I'm going to my next stop, right? And I go to the next stop, and it happened to be like this. I believe there was an older white lady, right? That other lady happened to be like maybe in her 40s, right? And this other lady happened to be like maybe in her maybe mid 40s, maybe 50s. So I go to her house, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? I was like, okay, doing pretty good. I was like, got a package for me? I said, yeah, here you go. Oh my God, thank you so much. I've been waiting all day for this. I was like, yeah, no problem. Well, yeah, you have a good one. Oh, okay, thank you, sweetie. Would you like a bottle of water? It was kind of hot that day. I was like, nah, I'm good. I got, because I really had a bunch of bottle of water in the van. I was like, no, I'm fine. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Are you sure? I was like, nah, I'm sure. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. She's like, okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate what you guys do. I really, really do. Thank you so much. I was like, yeah, no problem. So I went back to the van, you know, still mad, but I wasn't as mad as I was when I left the store. So the second house I go to, and it was like up a hill kind of sort of. Now Amazon tells you to not drive up the customers' driveways, but fuck all that trying to run up a hill shit. So I drove up the driveway, and it was this guy. It was literally this guy that was sitting outside, and he was wiping his car down, right? And he had his garage door open. So it was like I'll say maybe a mid-30s white dude, right? So he happened to be wiping his car down. So I was like, hey, how's it going? He was like, hey, how's it going, man? I was like, pretty good. All right. Well, I got your package for you. He was like, oh, okay, cool, man. I've been waiting on you all day, man. I thought you never come through. I said, yeah, man, that traffic is crazy. Just making small talk, right? I was like, all right, well, here you go. Okay, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Hey, you want a Gatorade? I was like, so no joke. Whenever he said that, I looked around him, and you know, like that big ass like freezer or refrigerator that they be having in the store, they be having all the sodas and shit all lined up. No joke. That is exactly what he had in his garage. He had every flavor of Gatorade and Powerade in that one refrigerator. And I looked over in there. It was the big bottles too. I looked over and I was like, yeah, I'll take one. And he was like, all right, cool. Well, what flavor? I was like, it don't matter. So he threw me a Gatorade or whatever, caught it. I was like, appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. No, thank you, man. I appreciate everything y'all do for real. I order on Amazon almost every other day, so I really appreciate y'all for real. I said, oh, no, appreciate it, man. You know, ain't nothing to it. So, you know, did that and, you know, went on back in the van. And I was like, huh. You know what I mean? That's literally all I said. I was like, okay. You know, so next house I went to, same thing. It was an elderly lady this time. So I delivered a package to the door, like she said, and this time nobody was outside. So I happened to just, you know, be delivering it to the door. And you know, if you work for Amazon, you know that anytime you deliver a package to the door, I take a picture of it or whatever, so you can move on to the next thing. So I took my picture and, you know, moved on to the next delivery. And as soon as I'm walking off, no joke, I hear the door open, right? So I was like, okay. Well, I was like, all right, man, thank you. And I threw my hand up and I was walking off. She's like, hey, where you going? And I turned around and looked, and she had $10 in her hand for a tip. I was like, are you serious? I was like, man, I really appreciate it. Now, I'm not one of the ones that's going to say, oh, no, man, you don't have to. Shit. You hand me $10 on a tip. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you just bought me lunch for the day. You feel me? So, so she was like, young man, I appreciate you so much. I know it's a hot day. So here, just take this and get yourself some needs, sweetie. Okay. I was like, oh, appreciate it. Well, thank you. You know what I mean? And at that time, I say all that to say, at that time, ladies and gentlemen, it's so easy for hate to just fill you. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Heavy pause on that. But it's so easy to become enraged with hate that you can't see the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? As much as the times that us as black folks, we all tell people all the time, you know, not all black folks steal, not all black folks do this, not all black people do that. As much as the time that we say that, you know what I mean? Sometimes we do that to other races, right? Now I'm not trying to cap or trying to caper for anybody. All I'm saying is this, at least in my experience, it was so easy to put an entire race in the bad category because one did me a certain way and I didn't appreciate it. It's so easy to call out. It's so easy to put down the entire race of people because of that one person. But once I started delivering those packages and I started realizing that it was just that one bad person, because those 3 people that I delivered a package to, those are the ones that were decent to me. It made me realize that just that one was the bad apple out of the bunch. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, anytime it's that one person, just let that one person stand on that island by themselves. Still keep that idea in your mind that it's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not the entire race. It's just that one bad apple. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like my experience with the first time I experienced racism and my dose of hatred. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? To this day, I keep that mindset. I make sure I keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Just like if a black person go up inside of a business and shoot the whole business up, we don't claim that nigga. Like, nah, he did that shit on his own. We don't fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or a white person might do something. You got white people that be like, man, that motherfucker crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You got people that don't, that don't throw everybody in one category because of one bad person. Just like for my Muslim folks out there, right? They always try to tie Muslim men with terrorists. Not all Muslims are terrorists, or they try to say they're radical and all that shit. Like, no, you just have that one person that's just extreme. That don't mean that's an entire race, or that's what they're all about. Like, that's kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? For all my Muslim folks out there, bro, I've grown up with like a mixed pot of all races: black, white, Hispanic, Muslim, Indian. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you could think of, I've grown up with a lot of people. So I've tried to take the time to understand everybody's culture, because everybody's different. You know what I mean? But not one time did I treat somebody differently because of what society says about that culture. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that shit to say, it's easy to become hateful, but if your mindset isn't strong enough to step outside of that and see what exactly you're mad at and where's this hatred coming from, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you step out and do that, that shows growth. That shows maturity. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really glad that I had that experience, because it made me understand that, I'm a real human being. You know what I mean? I have the sense and the wherewithal to understand that it's just that one person. It's not an entire race. So I hope that when people hear this story, they can apply that to themselves. If you feel like black folks are terrible, black folks are this, why are black folks terrible? You know what I'm saying? How many black folks have you experienced that have given you that hard time? How many black folks have you experienced that have been cool? You know what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make is, don't tie everybody down to one race as it being bad because of that one bad person. That's not fair. So yeah, that was my first time experiencing that shit, and to this day I've never forgotten it. Like, that to me was just that was a really, like, a useful lesson, a useful moment, if you will. You know what I mean? So, switching gears, man. So I'm in this gamer group, right, on Facebook, and I can't stand how this group is ran, man. It's one thing to crack jokes all day long inside of a group, or, to troll, but it gets to a point where it's like, you don't know if they're trolling or are they dead ass. Like, you just don't know for real. You know what I'm saying? So in this group, it's like I said, it's a gamer group, so they try to post gamer related content, right? But every time when the engagements aren't up, they start going to the whole, or I call it stirring the pot. They start going to the whole black men versus black women thing. Pretty much all the shit that you hear them always yapping about on social media, right? That they try to run with it as being true, but it's not entirely true. Like I always said, there's some validity, but it's not entirely true. Just because they say it on social media and 500 other people saying the same thing, that doesn't mean that it's entirely true. You know what I'm saying? So that's when they start doing that, and people always fall for the damn bait. They always, they're always saying, well, black men, blah, 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 black women, blah, 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 blah. Like, they always do this shit every fucking time, and it's so annoying. It's so fucking annoying. And then on top of that, whenever you have people like myself that be like, why are you making this kind of a post? Like, it's not even that, it's not even that deep for real, So, like, anytime that somebody will question her, she'll either ignore it or she'll block the comment. Not block the comment, but like delete the comment. You know what I mean? And she'll say something about, see how all the black men are oppressed, all the black women just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to be like a real piece of shit almost. You know what I mean? And the fucked up part about it, she's a mod. So anything that you will say or whatever in the court of law, pretty much, it'll get deleted. And she'll remove your comment anytime that you try to question what she's doing. I've said several times that, like, posts like that aren't helping the engagement. If you're not getting engagements off of, regular gaming posts, then you should go back to the drawing board and figure out how to get the engagements going. Because posting shit like that, whenever your engagements ain't high enough, ain't it. it's making you really like a real piece of shit. And then anytime somebody's like saying something to her, she won't reply. But the minute she posts a post like that, she has like her and like 2 or 3 other her little girl buddies or whatever. I don't fucking even know if they know each other for real. But they all band together and they start like, kikiing amongst each other and shit. You know what I mean? And it's really fucking sick. Then on top of that, you got one girl in there that's like talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep tending to my white kings and shit like that. I'm just like, look, like who you like, but it's like, cut the bullshit about the black man, black woman shit. Just cut it out, bro. Like that like, it's an old ass conversation. It's gonna forever be old. You know what I'm saying? Go outside and fucking be proactive. How about that? You know what I mean? Like, the shit's it's tacky. It's really fucking tacky. Like I said, I'm not into social media anymore. I'm not deep into it like I used to be. So the simple fact that y'all are still talking about this same age-old conversation about black men versus black women, the shit's fucking old. It's annoying. You know what I mean? And I've even echoed that shit in the chat, but she won't reply to it, nor will she like it. She sees it, but she's not gonna say anything. But she just tries to she tries to belittle us. She tries to belittle black men, but at the same exact time trying to say, oh, y'all are all right, but y'all ain't shit. But y'all all right, but y'all still ain't shit. You know what I mean? I hate it. I really just hate it, dude. And I hate the fact that she's a mod. She even has any control over comments or anything. And then she uses that as a way to try to pull the traffic into a ladies only post, right? So while she's doing that, I think I made a comment. She said, "Oh well, if all the women on here are tired of the ashies and dusty men on this post, they come on over to the ladies only discussion." So I said, "Okay, Suge Knight." You know what I mean? So she deleted my comment, and she deleted my comment and made another comment inside that one, or reply to her comment and said, "For all the smooth brains out there, this is a woman's only post. If it ain't a woman, it will be deleted." You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you were a real piece of shit, bro. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about like you trying to prove a point or you saying, or you trying to say something. You're just a real piece of shit. You know what I mean? Whether you trolling or not, it's making you look really like less of a person. So it's like I said, dude. It's just mad tacky. Like, I really hate it. No, I really do. And I don't know what her deal is. I still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. But I'll make sure I let y'all know when I do. But people like that just really don't. They really don't deserve that shit. And both of the admins, I don't know what the admins are on. I don't know what they said to the admins in order for them to have the mod spot. But they don't deserve it if they don't keep doing shit like that. So let's see what else we got here on the docket. So I'm gonna give you a small little story. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if I told y'all. I might have not, but I'll run it back for y'all. So I was talking to this. It's not really necessarily dating, but I was hanging out with this girl or whatever. We went on a date or whatever. It was cool. Went to the movies. Had a free movie pass, so I used that. Got us some popcorn. We went out to eat. So everything was all cool. So we hung out. Everything was all good. And then we was going to go, she was down for a second date. So I was like, all right, bet. It was cool. It really felt cool to court a woman again. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say I felt like I was losing my touch, but it felt really good to like, really, like I said, to actually court a woman. It felt good. So she said she was down for a second date, but the next weekend was going to be kind of, it was going to kind of be like, packed. I mean, not packed, but she was going to be busy because she was packing to go on a cruise or whatever, right? So I was like, all right, well, that's cool. So I was like, yeah, I know you're not going to be able to do nothing this weekend. So, well, maybe what about next weekend? She was like, yeah, definitely. We could do something then. I was like, all right, bet. So she comes back from the cruise. Mind you, we text her. She comes back, and I kind of gave her a space, to enjoy her cruise. I didn't want to be that one, like, breathing down the neck, like, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? That type of shit. So I basically, so I left her alone for that time. She comes back on the cruise. She talks about it or whatever. She didn't say too much. She said it wasn't really all that. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So mind you, the entire week we were talking about hanging out the next weekend. So we talked about that the entire week, right? The day before, we talked about hanging out. Now, the plan was to pretty much just do just simple shit, right? Just go to the park, get some bread, go feed the ducks. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoy each other's company. It was a public park. It wasn't nothing like it was like spooky or something where you should be like really on your P's and Q's. It was a family park. It was a family oriented park, like kids running around everywhere. It was like, really family oriented. So that's why I decided to do it. So she was like, yeah, that'd be cool. You know what I mean? Do that and then get a milkshake or get some ice cream. You know what I mean? Just some real chill. You know what I mean? Real minimal. We ain't got to spend a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. Not everything you have to do, you have to spend money. You can have the best of time and you really got to spend a whole bunch of money on a lot of shit. So fellas, keep that shit in mind. Because if the girl really like you, it don't really matter how much money you spend to take her out, as long as she enjoy herself. That's what it matters. So the day before, everything was confirmed. Everything was confirmed. She was like, yeah, that's cool. That's a bet. I was like, all right, cool. Now, the weather was a little bit iffy because it said it was supposed to rain. So I wasn't too sure exactly if we were going to be able to do the park because it said it was going to rain. So I didn't want to have her out there being all wet and shit. So I was like, all right, well, I think we're good for the park. So she was like, okay, well, that's cool. What time? I texted her good morning, shit like that. We was texting beforehand anyway. So she was like, she's like, okay, cool. Well, what time should I start making my way there? I said, well, you can go ahead and start making your way there now because I really was moving around. Actually, I had to go pick up some shit from a store or whatever. So, I was still moving around. So I was like, you can come on ahead and, start making your way out this way because I got to, I'm trying to time you coming around my way and then actually coming back to meet you at the same exact time. So she was like, okay. And then she was like, she replied later and said, hey, so what's the plan? What's the plan at the park? Because I actually made plans this evening. I'm just like, and then when she said that, I didn't even respond back because I was still driving. So I replied back when I stopped, or I was getting ready to reply back. She said, hey, let's reschedule. She's like, hey, let's reschedule. What did she say? Hold on. Let me pull up my phone real quick. She said, and I quote, okay, so before that text, she said, what's the plan at the park? Because I did make plans for this evening. And then because I was driving, so I didn't even reply to that one. Then I stopped and I was getting ready to reply. She says, hey, let's reschedule. Besides, it's still wet over here and I would hate to drive that far. It might rain again. So I was like, well, I can accommodate and come that way if it's possible. She's like, no, it's okay. We can do something next weekend. I was pissed. I was mad. And see, here's the thing, because before people say, just like a man, always upset about something. I mean, she told you that. At least she didn't stand you up. That's not the point. The point that I'm trying to make here is when you keep confirming some shit, you're telling that person that you're free, right? You have nothing else going on. You didn't make plans, so you're free. You're good to go. Everything is all good. You're scot-free. Everything is on. Everything is a go, right? Until the last fucking minute, you all of a sudden now say, oh, well, let's reschedule. I made plans this evening. Or what's the plan for the park? Like now you're the way that you're telling me like you're pressed for time. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that shit. I don't like hanging out with somebody and we have to be back within a certain time. I don't like that shit. I don't like being pressed for time. Like let's just chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of going on a date and we got to rush? You know what I mean? Like no, let's just chill, right? So then you tell me, oh yeah, let's reschedule because this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, well, that's not a problem if you don't want to drive out here because you think it's going to be wet. I can make it out there if you want me to. No, it's okay. We'll do something next weekend. You know what I mean? Like it pissed me off because I'm just like, you kept confirming and then now for some last minute you want to renege. People do that shit to me. Like, people have done that shit to me a lot, especially in Texas. Like, that shit pisses me off. It makes me mad thinking about it now. Like, I was cool about it earlier when it happened that day, but, like, it's pissing me off thinking about it again now because it makes no sense it pisses me off because people have done that shit to me all the time. You know what I mean? Like, they always would tell me, yeah, let's do something, and then all of a sudden I get stood up. Or I'm talking to that person for however long it is, and then I get pretty much either silence or all the way to the day of, almost to the point where it's almost like showtime, like almost to the time where we're getting ready to meet up, and as soon as I'm like starting to make my way down there or wherever we're supposed to be going at, all of a sudden I get a text saying, "Oh, hey, let's reschedule," or "Hey, I can't make it." You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck, man? So it happens to me so much that I don't really even expect people to really like, to hang out with me. You know what I mean? Or to like say that they're really going to truly hang out with me. Like, I don't even expect it at that point. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point? Because y'all ain't gonna do nothing but renege on me anyway. So what's really the point of me even asking and looking forward to it? Because they're gonna do nothing but back out on me anyway. So it's like, what's the point? But yeah. So I was pretty upset about that. Like, not upset like boohoo crying, but I was just upset because it's just like, I hate when people change up last minute. I hate it. You know what I mean? I got up looking all good, feeling good, smelling good, looking good, only to be told, "Hey, let's reschedule." Like, I was told yes all the way up to the last minute. If you didn't want to go to the park, why don't you just say that? You know what I mean? Like, if that was something that you didn't want to do, you could have just said that. We could have accommodated and did something different. You know what I mean? And the only reason why I'm pissed because next weekend or this weekend coming up, I got family coming in town, so I'm gonna be locked down with that. I'm not gonna be able to go anywhere. I mean, I could, but I'm just saying, like, I got family coming down, so all that, let's hang out, like, that shit's kind of dead. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I'll keep y'all posted and updated on that, man. But yeah, that kind of bothered me. That really did. But in other news, so the ASAP Rocky Rihanna rumor about ASAP Rocky cheating on Rihanna, that shit turned out to be a hoax. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man, because people really are like preying on the downfall of folks. You know what I mean? Like, people was really hoping that shit was true, just so they can just shit on ASAP Rocky. Like, I know that's all people would get ready to do. I just know it. It's fucking sad, man. You know what I mean? I never thought I would actually see grown ass people really praying on somebody's downfall, like really hoping that shit was true, so we can trash him online like we normally do. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's sick, bro. Leave these folks alone, man. You know what I mean? Y'all live vicariously through these fucking celebrities and just project your feelings onto celebrities or around other people onto other people and hope that they get where you're coming from. And it's fucking sick, man. Get help. Get help, man. I'm glad this shit ain't true. You know what I mean? But, like I said, these celebrities are just like us. You know what I mean? Like, they have their ups, they have their downs. You know what I mean? Like, they all have their ups and downs like we do. So I'm sitting here and think for a second that, oh yeah, this is black love. This is right. This is black excellence right here. Fam, they have their days just like anybody else does. But speaking of that, I want to see more positivity. Like, I want to see more positive black news. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta be one to do it, then fuck it. It is what it is. But I'm really tired of seeing like negative shit all the time. You know what I mean? I want to see like some positive black folks really going down in the news. I want to see some positive shit. You know what I mean? Negativity travels faster than positivity, and that's fucking sad. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there's tons of positive black news to be reported on, but nobody's doing it because that's not a lucrative way of bringing in revenue. Everything has to be negative first. You know what I'm saying? Like the baby, right? He got put in the news because apparently somebody ran in his house and, he shot the dude. He didn't kill him. You know what I mean? But, he was in the news for that. He didn't kill nobody, but he was just in the news that he shot somebody. And, they don't ever talk about how good of a dad he is. Like, oh no, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can't give that man credit for at least being able to, manage the stuff that he manages. And it seems that time when it comes to his kids, that man really, he's putting his foot down when it comes to his kids. Like, he's really doing the damn thing, being a great dad. Yeah, but nah, y'all not ready to talk about that. Y'all not ready to sit down and actually have that conversation about the baby. Y'all always want to find some negative shit and spew upon that, and it's fucking sick, man. It's really, really sad how negativity is more lucrative than positivity. If you're positive, then you're quote unquote simping for that for whoever's in question. I hate that. I really do, man. I really hate the fact that you guys just love thriving on negativity. Orlando Brown, got his sobriety right. He's back in good, back in a better headspace. It's crazy that nobody replied. I mean, nobody reported on that. That shit is crazy to me. How can you sit there and shit talk about another man so much, call him all kinds of crackheads and shit, but the minute he gets his life together, it's mad quiet. Nobody says a fucking word. And you call yourselves black content creators supposed to be down for black people, but you won't report on positive shit. But the minute that if this motherfucker breathed wrong and he gets a felony, y'all be the first one to report on it. Or anytime that a black man is dying at the hands of the police, or he's dying at the hands of somebody that's a white man, or somebody who's of the fairest skin, y'all are quick to report on that. But no positive black folks, black men at that, are put into the limelight. That's fucking sick, man. If that's how you roll, stay away from me, bro. Please stay away from me. But let's lighten the mood up a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. So Access Football, man. Pretty sure y'all saw the video. If you haven't already, take the time to go check it out. But Access Football 2023. Yeah, I said 2023. They have Access Football is really stepping up, man. Like I gotta give them their credit. They got to. Like, you've got to give them the credit. These guys are really been putting in the work, actually making sure that their product it's improvement from the last one, and I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. You know what I mean? I understand that Access isn't Madden. It's not 2K. You know what I mean? You could try it all you want to, but it's just, you're gonna let yourself down. You have to experience Access with the idea that, okay, this is a new football game. I don't know what it's gonna be like, so let's try it. You know what I mean? You have to attack it in that sense. Because if you go in there trying to make it sound like it's one of these games that I just named off, you're going to let yourself down and you're not going to like the game. But the fact that if you go on Twitter, they'll tell you how they added from 2 throwing animations to over 50 throwing animations. They've added 100 new catch animations on both offense and defense. And they've also even added sideline catches that also would trigger at any time that you throw it to the sideline. And a bunch of other stuff where you catching it in stride and things of that nature. It's really good to see innovation. It's really good to see people really pushing themselves to be better than their previous iteration. It's really good to see that, because how often do we want to see that in Madden? Be honest. Who asked for that throwing meter, that throwing mechanic meter, or meter mechanic, whatever you want to call it? Who asked for that for Madden 23? Who legit asked for that? I can't think of anybody in the community that would legit ask for some shit like that. But the simple fact that Access Football really care for your user input. You know what I mean? That is the only company or dev team that I know that is really in tune with their fans or their community. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They're trying to push to make it to where it's online, or you can do an online franchise. They're trying to push for stuff like that. As of right now, everything is all local. You know what I mean? But they're making sure that they're prioritizing core gameplay first before they can focus on doing all the outside stuff. I.e. online mode and franchise and stuff like that. Like that's what we need. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a pimped out ride, but your engine is shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. Like, and if y'all didn't know, Pimp My Ride, like, that shit was terrible. Any car that was on Pimp My Ride, if they had engine problems, that shit just had engine problems. It looked good, but ran like shit. You know what I mean? And if you want a game like Pimp My Ride, feel free to put on Madden. Feel free. You know what I mean? But you have to, I don't know what the hell that was, but you have to really give them their credit. Like, they're focusing on what's more important, and that's core gameplay. You have to get what's underneath the hood right first before you can say, okay, let's look at online. Let's look at all these other things. And I really applaud them for that. So shout out to Access Football, man. Big shouts out. Y'all forever got my support. I really appreciate you guys really taking the time to really look forward to the user feedback, because at the end of the day, we are what make the game what it is. So please continue to look forward for our feedback, especially for me. I'll definitely give you guys feedback because there's a ton of things I want to see implemented in Access Football. But what's another thing? I want to talk for a second about 2K Football. Like, what the hell happened? Like, I haven't heard a peep out of 2K Football or just 2K in general. I know they said 2K Football was coming back. They're doing something more like an arcade type of a feel to it. That's what they said that they were doing. But I'm not too sure what was up with that. I'm not sure if these guys stopped production on it or if they're doing it. They're just quiet. They're just real quiet about it now. I don't really know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? They've been like super quiet about it. So, I'm like I said, I'm not too sure as to what's going on with that. I'm pretty sure it's still coming out, but I just hope that I just really really hope that I really hope that these guys are still trying to put out a football game. I really hope so, because like I said, I would love to see football from 2K to come back. I would really like to see that for sure. But Esports Boston Club, I've been following that still. Haven't seen any bigger updates. They have been letting people test out, I guess, the alpha or the beta version of it, whichever it is. I'm trying to get in line for that. So the sooner I can get in there and do that, and if I got to sign an NDA or if there's certain things I gotta follow before I can like, report on anything like that, I'll definitely let you guys know. But Esports Boston Club, I think that's gonna really be the game changer for real. I just hope that they don't let EA get a hold of it, because we see what EA does with their products. You know what I mean? EA acquired Codemasters, right? Codemasters is the ones who made Dirt 4, Dirt Rally 2.0. What was that? Formula 1, I think, was made by Codemasters, if I'm not mistaken. What else is made? What else did they do? But you know what I mean? But we see how they gain. As soon as they see somewhere they can gain a monetary value of something, then that's when the game starts to just completely go to crap. So so that's the only thing that I hope that Esports Boston Club doesn't do. I just hope that they don't sell their business to EA, because once money gets involved, we see how the products turn out. So I really hope that they I hope that they stick it out and really just let the community take over and push them and propel them into the right direction, instead of letting EA get a hold of it and dictate it and then completely just go straight down the shitter. You know what I mean? So I really hope so. I really do. Let's see. Something I wonder too. I hate when people try to I hate when people try to call you a colorist because you have a preference over somebody. Like, don't you hate that? You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I had a preference, I like yellow bones. Like, I love light skinned women. That's just me. You know what I mean? You got some people that love chocolate. You got some people that love the mocha caramel colors. You know what I mean? All the colors you could possibly think of. There's a preference for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You got women saying that they love chocolate men. You got some that say they like light skins. You know what I mean? It's cool. That's what your preference is. Everybody has a preference. I just don't think you should be crucifying people of that. You know what I mean? And at the same as that time too, I hate how the dating world has become. You know what I mean? Because it's like, instead of getting the woman that you need, you always want the woman that you want. You know what I mean? Like, you might be dealing with this girl and you rocking with her solely because she cool. You know what I mean? She might not have the best of bodies. Not saying that like she's sloppy fat or she's thick skinny, but she might not be the ideal aesthetic of a woman. But because of that, we let that get in the way of really being with her. If she don't look like this, then I don't know if this is gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Or we'll always try to gain cool points from other people to I guess confirm that that was the right pick. And it shouldn't be like that, bro. Like, you should like who you like. Be with who you want. You know what I mean? Like, I think it doesn't matter at the end of the day who says what about who you're with. You know what I mean? I hate the fact that we always gotta look for cool points from our friends or people that are close to us to double check and make sure that, yeah, that was the right pick right there. Oh yeah, she bad. Yeah, she, you know what I mean? Like, that shit whack, bro. Like who you like, bro. You know what I mean? I don't think it's fair that I really honestly don't think it's fair that you should go after somebody who is, like I said, aesthetically pleasing, and then get confirmation that, yeah, that's the right one. Yeah, man, like, yeah, that shit ain't cool, man. You know, but if you listen to this, man, like who you like, man. Like, just live your life. You know what I mean? If sometimes the woman that you want isn't necessarily the woman that you need. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, because everything's subject to change in this life. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to conclude this podcast and just say, you know, especially all my black folks out there, just keep doing you. You know what I mean? You are something to somebody. I know it gets tough. I know you want to give up sometime, but let this voice that you're listening to right now be the reason you keep pushing. If you don't take nothing else from this podcast, keep your head up and keep pushing. Just please don't give up. You know what I mean? To all my black people out there, you are something. You are worthy. You are royalty. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know what I mean? So I'm going to wrap this thing on up, man. I appreciate everybody that was listening. If you made it this far, I really rock with you. You know what I'm saying? You family. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this thing on up, man. Make sure you like button, comment, subscribe, or whatever platform you listen to this on, whether it's YouTube. Definitely make sure you like button, comment, subscribe. Share the word, spread links, because you know how I do. Wherever platform you're listening to this on, definitely make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, whatever pertains to you. Make sure you hit that so you can get more content from me. And yeah, man, this was a good talk. I really had a lot to get off my chest. So yeah, man, definitely. I appreciate everybody that comes to check out these podcasts. I already know that these videos aren't really necessarily, you know, orthodox, but to the people who actually sit down and listen to them, I really appreciate it. And definitely, I do this for y'all. For the ones that are actually listening to it, I do this podcast for y'all. You know what I mean? Whoever's really listening to this podcast, I do it for y'all, for real. You know what I mean? But I'm going to get up out of here, man. Make sure to like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. Shua J DiVine, and I'm signing out. Peace.